The next best thing in housing may really just be right around the corner. I'm talking about Jamaica Queens. They've added opportunity to add a dwelling unit, which means more value to that home. See, in Jamaica Queens, it's a multi-generational neighborhood. It is a hub for transportation. And today what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the details about Jamaica Queens and what makes it a great opportunity for people thinking about accessory dwelling units. So stick with me, and in the end, we'll give you the big reveal. So Jamaica means a lot to a lot of different people. So we're going to talk about Jamaica Queens in the broader Jamaica neighborhoods. So it constitutes several neighborhoods, not just maybe what you think about, which is it's really just the hub of all the transportation with the Long Island Railroad, several subway stops, and JFK. So I'm going to talk about the Jamaica that most people know is downtown Jamaica, St. Albans, Hollis. All of these neighborhoods comprise Jamaica together. And the goal here is to really focus on the trends that are going on in 1 and 2 family homes, because this is the focus of where you can add an accessory dwelling unit. So if you're thinking about buying or thinking of selling your home in Jamaica Queens, then this is for you. Because I'm telling you, even if you don't do anything based on the new rules and regs from New York City, you actually have added value to your home. You see, New York City added regulations that allow 1 and 2 family homeowners to add an accessory dwelling unit, which is really just a legal apartment. And by doing so, they've added an opportunity to add a dwelling unit, which means more value to that home. So think of it like this. You're sitting in your home, you've owned the home for a long time, and you've taken care of it, but you haven't really added on or anything crazy, and then you want to sell it. Well, if you flip the switch to 2026, all of a sudden, the next buyer has the opportunity to add an illegal apartment in your home. And that creates income for them, and it creates more value for them. Hence, for you as the seller, you can actually sell your home for more than what it is typically going for in 2025. So stick with me. So in Jamaica Queens, there's about 270,000 people who actually reside there, according to different statistics. Actually, the median household income hovers around $77,000. What's interesting about Jamaica is that it is a melting pot of many different cultures. So you are going to find that there are lots of people who come from all over the world who live in Jamaica Queens, and makes it a great opportunity for people looking for a diverse neighborhood. So Jamaica Queens, we have to understand, is many different types of housing. And this is what makes it really an exciting opportunity. You see, if you wanted to move to Jamaica Queens, you wouldn't necessarily need to buy a single family home. You might buy a condo, you might buy an apartment, you might just rent one of those, or you might actually buy a 1 and 2 family home. So when we talk about purchasing a home in this community, we're going to focus today on 1 and 2 family homes. Now, the prices per square foot is a number that most realtors use to make a comparison between new neighborhoods. Depending on who you ask, Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com, Apartments.com, the price per square foot to own can range anywhere from $500 a foot to maybe $700 a foot. And that is clearly all about the nuances. See, in real estate, you probably realize that it does matter where you are on the block. It does matter what the lot configuration looks like. It does matter if you're close to a main subway stop. All of those things add value or detract from value on your particular lot in your particular home. So we're focusing not today on the specifics of what a home can go for. What we are trying to do is to figure out if this is a neighborhood that makes sense to add an accessory dwelling unit. Short answer is yes, it is. So in Queens, most 1-family homes sit on lots between about 27-foot wide lots to 40, sometimes 50. Most single-family home lots are on a 25 by 100 27 by 100, 30 by 100, 40 by 100, and 50 by 100. And when I say 40 by 100, that means 40 foot wide and 100 feet deep. Now, the larger lots always add the opportunity where they have the most flexibility to add an accessory dwelling unit. But don't worry, if you have a smaller lot, those can too, because New York City knows that there are lots of configurations that some work for some properties and others don't work for those properties. So there's lots of opportunity to add an accessory dwelling unit. We've already talked about, if you've seen any of my other videos, you can convert the basement or cellar, you can convert your attic, you can build onto the back of your home. That's called a attached unit. Or if you're lucky enough and have a really deep backyard, you can build a detached unit. And not to forget, the garage conversion is probably one of the most efficient and my favorite, because people have been doing it for years illegally. And this is an opportunity to do it legally, so that when you're done, you actually have the opportunity to sell your home with a certificate of occupancy that says you can rent this apartment. And this provides tremendous amount of value to a home sales price. If you buy that home or you own that home, you get extra income every month. And that is something that will make your life better and easier. So let's talk about the rental market. See, when you are considering building something like an accessory dwelling unit, the first thing that you want to think about is, can I actually rent this apartment? How much can I rent it for? Because I need to have that rental income to offset the expense that I'm going to invest in my home. See, when you do a kitchen renovation, at the end, you get a beautiful kitchen that you enjoy for years. But that kitchen doesn't pay you any money back every month. That's the difference here. If you invest by providing an additional dwelling unit in your home, it actually will pay you back every month. The question is how much? So at ADU Advisory, what we like to do is look at the difference between what you're going to invest versus what you're going to get in return every month. Because you want to make sure that that difference is significant enough so that it's worth doing, right? So if I were to say to you, you could earn, after all expenses, $1,500 a month or more. Well, now that's real money, right? If it's $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 in rental income a year that you get to put in your pocket. You have to pay taxes, but it's, substantial and can really help you out with whatever's on your mind with bills. However, if I were to tell you the same home in the same neighborhood could only yield $500 a month in your pocket, you might start to question whether you want to do that renovation. Now, you may still want to do it because you're trying to make room for mom, or maybe a 20-something that you'd like to give them their own space, or a relative that may be coming into town. Whatever the case may be, you should still know what the numbers are. And you should have it in your head before you pick up the phone and call architects, engineers, and contractors. And that's what we do here. We're trying to help you understand the details of what you need to know. Let me just give you a quick example. So we got a call from a single family homeowner in Jamaica Queens. Been living there for 27, 28 years. And they're getting older. And they realize that they're on a fixed income and they would like to stay in the neighborhood, but they do not want to have this huge home. They just want to downsize. Their idea is to create an ADU for them and then rent the larger home to someone else. Now, this is possible in 2026 in New York City, never before. It's a great opportunity for someone who's getting a little bit older, wants to downsize, but doesn't really want to move to Florida, right? So the idea is for them to build the ADU and reside in the home while it's being built, then move into that home, renovate their current living space to maximize rental, and go ahead and rent it. It's a great opportunity because actually, when you think about it, they're investing in their home, But the price that they're paying for that rental, by them downsizing, they are maximizing their asset because they are going to rent the larger home. Now, renting the larger home, they may be able to get maybe $3,000 a month versus $2,000 or $2,000 a month for an ADU. So it's a really great opportunity for them that they're considering. One of the interesting points that when we went through this with them is to say, listen, you are in a 2-family neighborhood, and based on your lot, you could actually build a second story on your home and create a larger home, a 2-family home, not a 1-family with an ADU. And by doing so, you actually would create a much more valuable asset for yourself. They said, no, we don't really want to do that. And I said, well, why? He said, because that means that we actually have to move out of our home and we have to rent somewhere for maybe 6 months or even a year until it's complete. And we don't really have the wherewithal to do that. We don't really want to do that. We would like to do something small, and we'd like to move into it and let maybe our children do something like that in the future. So I thought, interesting, because I hadn't thought of it that way, but an interesting way to address, 1, their long-term goals of what they want to do, 2, save money not having to leave the home while it's under construction. A lot of people don't think of this, but the disruption of actually leaving your home while it's being renovated is a significant cost and a hassle for sure. Certainly a hassle if there's construction going on next door to your home while you're still living in it. But when you think about it, if they had to rent an apartment, a similar apartment for $3,000 a month, that's $36,000 of a rental agreement that they would have to go to and spend in order to build this. So I get it. It kind of makes sense. Listen, this is all about trying to figure out what's best for you. And that's what we're doing at The Powerful Homeowner. We want you to think about these types of things before you really get too far along, because it's not really for everyone, and everyone has a different perspective, and it's their home. It's their idea, and they should be able to do what they want, right? So the takeaway, there's a really great opportunity to add value to your home. It is to get a legal apartment. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to move out while you're under construction. And the second thing is that when you're considering this, one of the most important things is to figure out the financials. So if this is something that's interesting to you and you want to learn more, I would say start first with go to score.aduadvisory.com. Make sure that your home qualifies, or the one you're thinking about buying qualifies to build an ADU. You'll get what our idea is of a rating. If you look at that rating and you're still interested, we suggest you call us. We help people all the time in these kinds of decisions early on in the process before they get too deep with architects and contractors. I'm Robert LiMandri, and we want to help you build more houses for more people more quickly.